everyone, welcome back to Rach and Bella Crafts. Rachel here. So for today's video I'm going to be carrying on with the theme of clearing up my scraps. I still have quite a few piles on my desk. In fact they've probably grown a little overnight because I've found a few more. They're all organised and ready to go. So what I'm going to do today is I've taken all of my basically kind of large rectangle shapes or perhaps square shapes or bits of paper like this, and I'm going to make little notebooks to go into journals or you know, to use with or alongside, so they'll kind of then be stored in my ephemera box. So I've gone ahead and I've started folding everything ready. So I've got 4 piles, so just run through them quickly with you before I then start to fill them. So this one here was a square piece of Tim Holtz card I left over, so I've simply folded down the one side, and I'm going to add some papers then into here for taking notes. I had a few sheets then of a kit that I previously worked with. So this one here I have folded in half, but as it was quite a long sheet, I've folded the top down on the inside, and then I'm going to put notebooks then on both sides there, and I will fix them up inside there. This one here, same sort of thing, a bit long, so I folded the bottom up this one, so I will put notelets at the top, and then there will be little pockets in the bottom. And then this one here, this pile, these are all going to be little open up notelets. So again, same sort of thing, just all different shapes and sizes, and all made with, you know, just scrap bits of paper that otherwise wouldn't have been used. This one here is slightly different. So I'm going to put a little pocket on the front because it was really long, and there'll be a little pocket or tuck inside. And this bit of cardstock, same thing, and we will make a little notelet out of that. The third style, and you can see these are bits of paper that were all different shapes and sizes, but they do all have quite nice patterns on them. So I was quite keen to make sure that I you know, was able to keep that intact. So I'm going to make the little notelets along the style of Tracy Fox. I think she did a video on it back last year, and she put a little pocket in the back of hers, so I may do that yet, but obviously they will just be notelets that are affixed at the front. And this one here, I'm going to put a pocket or a tuck in the front, and then there'll be a notelet under there, but they're all pretty much the same, as you can see. That's part of a map there, so I've just folded that down, and again then with this nice paper here, and that's folded down there ready. So they're all ready to go. And then these ones here, I've just gone the other way, and they are going to be little notebooks. So we've got a great array of different papers. We've got an old telegram, so I've just folded that in half. I'm going to make that into a little notebook. I've got some of the digi paper left, so I'm going to use that. I've got a nice little narrow one here, which I thought might be quite nice. If you were making a traveller's notebook, you could pop that in there then. So yeah, all different, some book pages there as well. These have been quite nice if we're working on an autumn journal. I may cut those in half yet, I haven't quite decided yet. So I thought we'll see when we get to that stage. So I've got several piles of paper around me as well on the desk. So I've got stuff that has been torn and left over that is kind of that kind of shape, if that makes sense. Then we've got very light patterned papers like this that have been left over, that would actually do to journal on. So I'm going to put those in as some kind of filler pages. And then we've got all of these then here, kind of similar, but some bits of smaller pieces. I'm just going to add those in kind of haphazardly as we go along. And then I've got some larger ones, and these are like coffee dyed or tea dyed lined pages, but they have run, so I'm going to make use of those in the larger ones, I think. And then, you know, because there's nothing wrong with them, they're just not best, you know, but that's fine. So we'll get rid of those and reuse those up to date. Okay, so I'm just going to get organised, and then I'm going to make a start filling them up. Okay, so I have now finished compiling all of my notebooks from my scraps. So this is the one with the Tim Holtz card with the flap. So what I've done is I've just stitched across the edge in there to give the flap a little bit of weight. And then I have stitched a seam down the inside to bind it. So there's some little bits of scraps in there. So that's the first one. Then the ones that I made out of maps, I've done exactly the same thing. So there's simply nice little scrappy notebooks there. There's one there, and turn the map the right way up. There you go, there's some pages in that one there. This one here was some nice floral scrap paper, and again I've done the same sort of thing. Doesn't matter if your scraps are not the size of your paper, you know, move them around, it makes it look a little bit more interesting inside then as well. But they're still perfectly usable, and it's great then that you're getting all these bits of paper used up. I've added a little bit of stitching detail on the outside of this one, and again just bound it with a seam on the inside. These ones I've done a little bit differently, so I've done more of a tab scrap inside with a flap, but I can then decorate the covers of these. You can see what I was saying earlier about using decorative papers, but they're light enough, or you can even journal or write notes on the back of them as well. But it just makes it a bit more interesting when you've got a pattern on the inside too. This one I did a bit differently. I used, it was actually a book page, and I folded it over and tucked the pages in, so they open like this. So there's lots of different ways that you can bind your scraps. That one again, I've done a centre binding, just run it under the machine, super easy to do. And this one here, this one's quite full because it was quite big, so I was able to get lots in there. This is the one that was made from the printed telegram, so I'm quite pleased with how that's come out. But again, we can do lots of things then to, if you want to, you know, to embellish the outside. You can collage on them and add extra stitching down the sides of them. But the basic construction of the notebook is there now, so that's those there. I was able to get quite a bit of these, so I was really pleased with those. So that's that style. Then I did a huge load like this. So these are basically just little flippy notebooks. I've added stitching to the top and bottom of some. This one here is slightly different. So you've got a pocket here and a little tuck spot there as well. And then inside then you've got a nice bit of note paper in there. I also made a couple of clusters while I was making these because I had some little scraps left over, so I've simply just stitched those onto the front of some of the notepads. Again, then some more design paper. I had a bit of coffee dye paper that I had torn, so I just put a little bit of washi tape over that because there's nothing wrong with the page. Still perfectly writable, and I think it looks quite cool. That one again there, so there's lots of paper in there. There's another one there with a cluster. Again, I've just stitched that onto the flap at the front, but that would look quite nice, I think, tucked over a page. So you've got that either side then to look at. Here's another one where I put a cluster on because the page wasn't particularly colourful, and I've used lots of different coloured papers then inside that one, so I like that one. Some more maps, so they're both done and all ready to go. And then this one here as well. Don't laugh at my stitching, it went a bit wonky, but that's okay, it's all the nature of the game, isn't it? So these ones now again are slightly different. So these are with the flap on the front and then the little notebook inside, and this one here I have put a little scrappy cluster on the front of, and oh, get down in there, there we are, there's a little pocket in there then, if you want to use that. I've stitched a cluster on the top of this one because I like the flowers, so I didn't want to cover them over. But again, you've got note that's in there then. But the great thing about these is if you want to continue adding, you can just simply put more paper on top and just stitch over the top again, and then you can add more paper to them. This is a nice slim one, so it's great to add into a little tuck spot. This one here has got a pocket. Oh, I got a small piece of paper, yeah. So there's a pocket on the front there, and then you flip it over and you've got a nice little notebook inside, and then in the back as well you've got another little tuck spot, so I like that one. And then this is just another version of the flip book as well with some cardstock. And then last but not least, these are the two that I showed you that had the bits inside. So I've left that side there so you can use that as a tuck. Excuse me, sorry. And then this side here, we've got note taking space. And then on the front, I've just put a little scrappy cluster on there, and you can also tuck something into the front of that as well. But I particularly like that. And then the same with this one here. There's a tuck spot here, and then inside you've got a pocket here, and you've got a notelet, and then there's another pocket here. So that's all of the notebooks. But I mean, all those scraps, all those scraps, and I've got all of these notebooks here. Oh, and more. And all of these notebooks here. Plus, I still had some scraps left over, and that was just the piles I had yesterday then, doing those. And I was able to do some more scrappy clusters. So, yeah. So I might add some of these to the front of some more of my little notebooks later on. But didn't want to keep you guys too long today. So go and find your flat scraps. Go and find anything that you can fold in half, or just simply add a flap to, and then find all your scrap papers and make yourself some little notebooks, because these are going to be really handy now. I love these kept in a little tub, and then as I'm making my journals, then if I want to add something, I've got plenty there to choose from now, haven't I? So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you find the video useful. If you enjoyed it, if you wouldn't mind leaving me a like and checking with a comment, and if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to our channel. But have a great day, and I'll be back very soon. Bye now.